Okay, I'm going to cover this stuff the best I can. I'm trying to give it a little bit here for somebody to actually show up. We got a few here. But what this basically is House Bill 228, the supposed stand your ground bill, which has no stand your ground in it. But nevertheless, Buckeye Firearms, old Jim Irvine, what a piece of work, but he was trying to shuffle things around so that the little Mossberg Shockwaves and the Remington TAC 14, I think they're called, firearms that take shot shells, your little 14-inch pistol grip things, you know, trying to get those to be legal in Ohio. Well, they screwed up big time. They put the wording for all of that in the wrong part, and now the way it is written, come the 23rd of March, your AR-15s will now be illegal, and you'll be a felon for owning it. Huh. And as well as your AKs and several other firearms. Nothing specifically mentioned, but doesn't have to be. And I'm going to go over it the best I can. I'm no expert on this stuff. But nevertheless, I'll post the links and everything. I think I can actually put it right here in the comments now, if it'll allow me to. Give me 1 second here, if you want to read this for yourself. Okay. What this is saying, it lumps everything into dangerous ordnance. Means any of the following, except as provided in Division L, which I'll get to in a minute. Any automatic or sawed-off firearms, zip guns, ballistic knives, explosives of all types that you would use for blasting and things of that sort. Excuse me. Any firearm, rocket launcher, mortar, torpedo, you know, bombs, that kind of thing. Here's where it gets bad, though. Any firearm, muffler, or suppressor. So there goes your suppressors. Any combination of parts that is intended by the owner for use of converting a firearm or other device into dangerous ordinances. Any firearm, here we go, any firearm with an overall length of at least 26 inches that is approved for sale by the Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, ATF, and explosives under the Gun Control Act of 1968, but that is found by the Bureau not to be regulated under National Firearms Act. Dangerous ordnance does not include any of the following. Now, this is the very scary part. This is that L situation. Any firearm, including a military weapon, and ammunition for that weapon, and regardless of age, that employs a percussion cap. So as far as your muzzle loaders go and all that, that stuff's okay. Now here it is. Any rifle, pistol, or shotgun designed or suitable for sporting purposes, including military weapon as issued or modified, and the ammunition for that weapon, unless the firearm is automatic or sawed off. Okay, problem being is the part right here, sporting purposes. So you end up in court, let's say, because you used or even had your AR-15 out for whatever reason. Shooting at the range, could be anything. You'll have to prove in court that your rifle is for sporting purposes. But a prosecutor could easily argue the fact that you bought that for defensive purposes or whatever else they want to throw at you. You know, there is no definition of sporting purpose. That could be anything. You know, did you buy that gun just to shoot paper or to hunt? Prove it. You know, that firearm could very easily be used for self-defense, you know, whatever. And this also talks, you know, as flash suppressors, threaded barrels, thumb hole stocks, all that type of mess. If your rifle has any of that then it could very well, you know, be banned. You get some liberal prosecutor from Cuyahoga County or Franklin County or any of the others, take your choice, you know, I don't see you having much of a chance in court the way this is currently written. Hopefully they can get this fixed. The state is working on it, to the best of my knowledge, to try to fix this, but to actually get it completed and done by the said date, I don't know. Your suppressors, that kind of stuff's all going to be gone. Illegal. You know, as it stands now, Ohio is a shall issue, I think it is called, where your sheriff still has to sign off on your NFA stuff, like suppressors, but they can't say no. As long as you can pass the background check, you're fine. Currently. But this goes with any rifle that's over, well, any firearm, doesn't even have to be a rifle, that is at least 26 inches. And, you know, all your ARs and whatnot, you know, they're all over 26 inches. And it even talks about, that's why it says firearms, so your AR pistols, you know, that stuff will all be, you know, gone as well. Because it says pistol, rifle, or shotgun, designed for sporting purposes. So could you actually prove that the rifle you currently own, you bought solely for sporting purposes? No. Because in a self-defense situation, if that's the closest gun to you, you're going to use it. Somebody kicks in your door at 3 a.m. and your, you know, skeet shooting gun that you bought, or your rifle that you run 3-gun with, if that's the closest thing to you, then you're going to use it. So there goes your sporting purposes. So they would definitely have to prove that. And these liberal anti-gun court systems, they don't have a clue about, you know, the different uses for these firearms. That, yeah, you shoot 3-gun, or you shoot this kind of competition, steel challenge matches, or whatever. They don't care about none of that. They just know that that gun shoots a projectile that can kill a human. That's the only thing they look at. That might be the furthest thing, you know, from your mind when you bought it. You know, granted, a lot of people will buy a certain firearm for home defense or for this or that. But it doesn't matter. You know, all they see is that firearm can kill somebody. So that's not a sporting purpose. There's no sport of hunting humans, as some of them want to, you know, throw that kind of mess out there. So I wanted to bring this to everybody's attention. I'm going to put it in a comment, which I'll do right now, and I'll pin it so that anybody that wants to actually see this after the fact can. But this is a very dangerous thing here. Buckeye Firearms is solely responsible, and problem with it is they're not even owning up to their mistake. And no, cops are not out hunting humans, no. Do what you're told, and you don't have to worry about it. Not all cops are, you know, angels, but nevertheless, not all of them are bad either. Case by case thing, but don't argue on the street corner. You're not going to win. Do what you're told and go on. But nevertheless, this is a very dangerous thing. So hopefully, you know, this can all be straightened out and fixed between then and now, but, or, you know, between the enacted date of March 23rd, I do believe. 23rd or 24th, when the whole bill goes into effect. But I wanted to bring that to, you know, everybody's attention the best I could. All your stuff's going to be, you know, you'll be a potential felon. Let me put it that way. And that's the bad part of it. And not only is it bad that people will be felons, I think what's even worse is 99.9% of them won't even have a clue about it. They won't even know it. It's bad enough to say that you know, I'm going to be a felon, but wouldn't you think that you should have a heads up ahead of time so, you know, you could do something about it? But no, they don't want to give you any chance to do anything about it. They want to just arrest you, throw you in jail, strip you of your rights, and go on about their business. That's the whole game plan. That's why you don't find out about a lot of these laws until after they're passed. So I would highly advise, whatever state you're in, do some research though. First off, let me say this. Just because they're a gun rights group, don't mean they're worth 2 cents. Look at the NRA and our wonderful Buckeye Firearms. You know, they've created the majority of the mess we have in this country. If they'd keep their mouth shut and stay out of it, we wouldn't have these problems. Bump stock bans, red flag laws, things of that sort. If you can't help the issue, then keep your mouth shut. Quit making it worse. But do some research. Find a decent, no compromise gun rights group in your state. And Gun Owners of America is also a good one as far as national goes. Join up with them. And, you know, you don't rely on a gun group to fix your issue anyway. But one positive thing is, like Ohio Gun Owners, you know, they're a great organization. But do I rely on them to fix the problem? No. What their main benefit of being with them and following them is finding out about this stuff while you still have a chance to do something about it. Once laws are passed and go into effect, it's very hard to get them rolled back and get it fixed at that point. But if you know about it ahead of time, you can email, you can call, you can do whatever you need to do to get enough people to put a bug in their ear, and you can get this stuff stopped. It's happened before, and it'll happen again. But you got to know about it ahead of time, or, you know, there's nothing you can do. Some of this stuff is very hard to figure out or to even understand once you find the documents. You know, everything you need might be staring you in the face, but it's hard to understand. You know, this is all legal jargon, and they don't make it for the layman to understand. That's by design, of course, but nevertheless. And then, of course, you can't just start calling lawyers and asking them, well, what do you think? That's not going to get you anywhere. Because most of them either want to charge you, or it's so new they don't even know much about it themselves. So your gun rights groups are your best avenue as far as figuring out, you know, exactly what's going on in your area. So that's pretty much, you know, what I've got for the time being. I wanted to kind of bring it to everybody's attention the best I could. I mean, this stuff is still, you know, confusing. But I tried to convey it, you know, the best I could. And as many of you know, I like to have fun, joke around on the channel, what have you. But when things are of utmost importance, like this is here, then I like to bring it to people's attention so you can do your best to help stop this. You know, there's always a fight against gun control. That is one thing that will never go away. I mean, I wish there was something that, you know, could be done to solve the issues, but unfortunately, there's not a whole lot that can actually be done. So, like I say, I put it in the comments of this actual legislation, as well as Ohio Gun Owners link if you're from Ohio and want to check it out. So, if you could, I know there's only a few of us here, but share the video, pass it around so people can at least be aware of what's going on. And I'm going to post one more link as well. I know it goes to Facebook, but which I'm definitely not a fan of, but it is what it is. Give me just 1 second here to get the link. And I'm not the best at explaining this kind of stuff, but I'm going to put a link out to a video that I believe does a very good job of explaining it, which is from Ohio gun owners. And if you want to watch that, that'll give you some more insight. It's about an hour long, but, you know, listen to at least the beginning of it. But hopefully, you know, I come across halfway decent. So, like I said, if you could share the video around, I would greatly appreciate it. If there's any more updates to this, I'll be sure to pass them along. But stay safe, guys. Definitely keep up the fight against gun control. Stay safe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.